All right, welcome everybody to our weekly team call. Um, Yay, it's good to see some of you guys that haven't been able to make it on these last couple weeks. Super excited to see you guys. My name is Ellen. This is Team Play Hard's weekly call. And I just have two quick announcements. Going to keep it real short. They're important, short, and I'm going to dive right into the heart of this call. The two quick announcements are To Be Mindset has been launched. So I think all of you guys are super excited and have been working away at that all day long. And I just wanted to encourage you to continue. Many of you already have. When you purchase your kit, or if you have someone purchase the kit, go ahead and ring that bell under that post I posted this morning, because that's just a fun way for you guys to sort of mini celebrate. But also it also helps with the overall leadership of Team Play Hard to keep reminding everybody, maybe even subconsciously, this is a big deal. It's going on. It's making a splash, and it is making a splash. This is super exciting, groundbreaking, and it's groundbreaking in so many ways. And I don't want to go off on that tangent because we've already done a team call about To Be Mindset, but I just want to leave it at, this is so good for business. It's so good for volume. And moreover, it's so good for people to give them tools that aren't about militant eating, which militant eating is great for some people, but freedom and happiness with food is a message that is actually very near and dear to my personal, very eating disordered heart. So I'm excited to have this in our toolbox. Okay, moving on. The next very important announcement, super important, you guys. Next week, in lieu of the team call. Mel's on too. This is great, you guys. It's like a little reunion on here. Super important. Next week, instead of the team call, we're talking about May the 8th. Jake and I are going to do a business presentation. So this is, we were doing these once a month. We haven't done one for a couple months, and it's time. So we're going to do a business presentation. So this is an opportunity for you to invite people to learn about the coaching opportunity. We always let them know about the challenger kind of opportunity as well. They're never hard sold to. Jake and I have been around the block together long enough that we have a really nice harmonized delivery of what we do. So, it's not going to be perfect, but it'll be really good. And it's like a stress-free way for you guys to invite. So I hope everyone on the team takes advantage of that. It can be really hard, especially when you're new, and even when you're not, to talk to someone about our business opportunity. Let us do it for you. Let us do it. All you have to do is invite. Even if you can't be on, which you should be, but even if you can't for some reason, you can still invite them and then just follow up with them after. Okay, let's get into the heart of the call, shall we? I'm really excited about this topic. Sometimes I feel like team calls are a place where topics like the importance of Emerald Rank or Success Club or live events or blah, 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 need to be readdressed and readdressed and readdressed, because they're important, and we always have new coaches and new blood coming in, and it's always important to go over the basics again and again and again, of course. But I'm excited because tonight the topic I'm going to give you is something I've never delivered before. I've never delivered it. I haven't done any training material on it, and we have certainly never done a team call on it. And the topic of today's presentation is how to do a presentation at a business. And I did my second presentation at a business just a couple days ago, and it was really different than my first one. But I'm actually going to give you guys a formula that you can write down. I hope you write it down because you won't remember it. I'm going to give you a formula for you to deliver a presentation to a business. All right. Let me talk about what happened this week. One of my coaches, she's kind of a discount coach, not kind of. She's totally a discount coach, but loves our products, she's a massage therapist. And she's absolutely sold. You guys probably know her. I know Jake, you will, because she buys your cards. It's Anita. One of my discount coaches, one of my dearest friends. She works as she's a massage therapist, and she works also at a chiropractic office. And so her chiropractor started buying Shakeology, and so she signed him up. So this is a coach's coach of mine. I'll tell you why that's important in a second. It's a coach's coach. They're both discount coaches. Like, neither of them are trying to like build a business here. So, but they both love the products and believe in the products. So I just want to say, like, this is a coach's coach, someone I never would have met. And they're discount coaches. So it's not like it's someone that has aspirations to be like a diamond on my team. Okay. So why would I like waste my time, and why would I go do something like that? Because it is potentially incredibly volume producing for myself and for all of you guys that happen to share that leg of the business. So that's why I was motivated to do it. And I also will tell you that I was scared. I did a presentation last night for the mom-owned businesses with Katie Burchette, and she posted a little video like a few hours ago in Team Play Hard, and she said, "Our fearless leader." And every time someone calls me that, I really seriously want to die laughing, because I'm fearful all the time. I like about crapped my pants many times this week about the business. Doing that presentation was one of those times, and so was doing this one that I'm going to talk to you about tonight. So I'm very, I'm fearful often, but you guys, I'm willing to face them. I'm willing to work in spite of fears and through fears. I'm willing to fail, which is ultimately that's what I'm afraid of. Ultimately, I'm just afraid of failing. So this is a scary thing. You going and talking to a business about what we have to offer is a scary proposition. That doesn't mean rule it out. That doesn't mean this isn't for you. That means this is for you, and I'm going to help you figure out how to do it. So you guys need to think about what businesses are in your lives that you could approach. Surely you all know them. And now that I've done 2, I want to make this part of how I coach. I want to brainstorm a list of 100 businesses that I can approach. Okay. So let me back up and tell you about the first business that had me do a presentation. And this was like started over Facebook. And I need to talk quickly because I have 13 points to give you in your formula. The first business was a debt collecting company. And they just happened to like, one of the managers of this debt collecting company just happened to be like associated with me on Facebook, and was seeing my consistency, and that I'm always posting about health and fitness and challenges, health and fitness and challenges, health and fitness and home workouts. So she's like, "Would you ever do a corporate presentation?" You know, and this is like, oh gosh, I don't know, maybe a year ago. I don't know. It was like a year ago, maybe. Anyway, what they were interested in is totally different than the chiropractic office. They wanted, you guys know how corporate wellness is a thing? Like where businesses like in Eugene, Symantec, Sherry, you'll know, Symantec has this gorgeous gym and fitness facility with classes and everything in their basement because corporation. Oh, Sherry, you actually talked to me about corporate wellness on a Voxer this last week. Yeah. So businesses want healthy employees. And that's literally why they reached out to me, because they didn't want to build a fitness facility in their basement for $1 million like Symantec did. They wanted an affordable way to help their employees be healthy. And businesses want healthy employees because healthy employees are more productive, they're happier, they take less sick days. And so they basically said, would I come in during the lunch hour? They paid their staff to sit and listen to me. And they wanted me to talk about BOD and challenge groups. And I sold challenge packs, and I got people in challenge groups because of that meeting. And the purpose behind that was, because this is important, you have to know why you're there for that business. The purpose for that was, how can I help their employees get in shape, lose weight, and feel better? So that when I went to go do my business presentation, it was not about enrolling coaches. It wasn't about the benefits of Shakeology. It was about BOD. Okay. The chiropractic office wanted specifically to know about Shakeology. So this is the kind of chiropractic office that has, when you walk in, little like oils, like, how there's all these oils like doTERRA or whatever they're called. Someone had an oil display. Someone else who sells like rice neck heat pillows and stuff had like a display. Jewelry where you can put oils and stuff in. Like they had little displays. So what they wanted is one of the chiropractors is a business center. They didn't want like a retail hotspot. They wanted when their customers ask about nutrition, they wanted to know how to talk about the benefits of Shakeology. And then if they were interested in Shakeology, they want their customers to be able to purchase through the chiropractor, the one chiropractor, my coach's coach. Okay, so that was the purpose behind this. So here's the formula. And that's kind of what I was going in to talk about, is the benefits of Shakeology. So I called my Success Club partner, Cam, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's a doctor too. She's a doctor of physical therapy. And there were going to be 2 doctors and 6 other, chiropractic and medical staff in this meeting. So it was intimidating. And so I called Cam, since she's a doctor as well. And I was like, what should I say? What should I say? What do you think? I'm doing this thing. And she's like, well, just be yourself and be super confident. And that was the one thing I took away from talking to Cam, is to be confident. So that's my number one tip, is the people that I was going to be presenting to know more than I do about a lot of things, including some of the some of the pre and probiotics and some of the adaptogenic herbs. Some of these guys at the meeting knew more about it than I did. So you don't have to know the most. Just like I tell my instructors, some of you have been through instructor training with me, and I say, you don't have to be the most flexible person in the room to teach PIO, or jump the highest in the room to teach insanity, or the most. You don't. So I knew I wasn't necessarily going to be the smartest person in the room in terms of the ingredients. And so I was confident in my story and my experience. So number 1, be confident. Number 2, be thankful. So the first thing you're going to do is thank them for their time. Number 3, give them a summary of what you're going to be covering. So there was so many things I could cover, right? I could talk about the business opportunity. I didn't. That's not why they had me there. I could talk about BOD. I didn't. That's not why they had me there. I could talk about 21-day fix and the fixate and the containers. That's not why they had me there. They asked me to come talk about the benefits of Shakeology. So know why they're having you there, and then give them a summary of what you're going to cover. So it's sort of like, again, when I do an instructor certification, I kind of give them a preliminary, here's what we're going to do today. We're going to do some introductions, and then we're going to do the workout, and then we're going to talk about the class breakdown, and then we're going to have form and technique, and then lunch, and then we're going to practice cueing, and then musicality, and then we'll wrap up and we'll go home. So you give them an overview. So I gave them an overview that I said, I'm going to talk to you for about 20 minutes about the benefits of Shakeology. I'm going to share my story. I'm going to talk about the company's history. And I'm going to allow some time for some Q&A at the end. I'm also going to give you guys a sample. Okay. So number 1, be confident. Number 2, thank them. Number 3, give them a summary of what you're going to cover. And then number 4, disclaim that you're not a registered dietitian unless you are a registered dietitian. And I don't believe we have one on our team. So disclaim that you're not a registered dietitian. I have my fitness nutrition expert certification through ACE. So I told them that. I said, but you don't have to have that. You just can be you. Just say I'm not a registered dietitian. And then I gave them number 5, the company's history. And I'll tell you why I do this. I think I've always done this every time I've talked. I just think it's important. I think it gives credibility. We are a $1 billion company. We have been around a long time. And we have upwards of 500,000 coaches in the network. Carl and John started this thing in 98. These are the types of things I like to say in terms of history. Started it in 98. It's a privately owned company. They we had programs like Rockin' Body and Turbo Jam and Power 90 and eventually P90X. And you guys have all heard me say this before. I'll say it next week when Jake and I do the call, probably, that P90X promised you had to work really hard and eat really well to get in shape. And you had to do that for a long time, hence 90 days. And that set us apart from everything else that was in the infomercial world at that time. And even still today, where we have quick fixes everywhere. So I like to say that piece of history about our company. The year we started, where we went with it. And then in 2008, we became a network. And that basically just meant that people could do what I do and be distributors. And so I like them to hear that. I like them to hear that we're $1 billion company. It's credibility. So I told them that. I make it interactive. So I'm like, have you guys heard of Shanti before? So that's a good time to do that. And then number 6, your personal story and your passion. That's next. You don't have to be an expert to know your personal story. They're having you come. They're having you come. So this is the most important piece, is that you have a personal story. And so I shared at that point that I do struggle with food and with eating and have been eating disordered, and I'm a yo-yoer, and I'm telling you what, I see people that are morbidly obese and I think, gosh, I understand. Some people see someone like that and they don't understand. I understand. I get it. And I share that. And I talk about how Shakeology for me has helped, that I've been drinking it daily for 6 years, and that it helps me maintain a healthy weight. And then I talk about, I want to again understand why they're having me there. You want to understand why they're having you talk. What is the goal? So then I was putting myself in their shoes. They want people that come in there for treatment to be healthier. That is what they care about. Well, I totally care about people being healthier as well. So I relate to them. And I think this is important. Like I literally said, I know you want your clientele and your customers and the people that walk in the door here to be healthier. And so do I. And that's where Shakeology can help. And then number 7, speak to the benefits to the best of your ability about Shakeology. And some of you are just going to be really good at this because you've been practicing for a long time. And some of you may need to pull out a note card, which is fine. So you're just going to speak to the best of your ability about how it is a vitamin and mineral supplement. It has 300 times the amount of vitamin C daily recommended allowance. It has vitamin K, which is unusual. It has vitamin D. It has your B vitamins. It is high fiber. It has an awesome carbohydrate to protein ratio. It's low carb, high protein. It's low glycemic. It is low calorie. It is pre and probiotics, digestive enzymes to help us absorb more nutrients. It has antioxidants to help our immune systems, like all the things and hopefully have practiced and rehearsed. And those are only easy for me to say because I've said them hundreds of times. To the best of your ability, talk about the benefits without just you talking. What your personal story is, what your passion is, and what you know about Shakeology. You don't have to be an expert. Then pull out the expert stuff next. So then I pulled out this little booklet, which comes in the bottom of a box of Shakeology. I have 1 million of them in my closet. So if you open our little booklet up, it says, "What's in Shakeology?" And so I read this and I said, pardon me if I mispronounce some of these words. I might. And I did. And they corrected me. The two doctors in the room corrected me on some of the pronunciations of some of these words, which is fine because I said they knew. Okay, so here's what I said. You don't need to write this down. You just need to write down that then you need to read to them. You need to read. You need to have the actual material on hand. So I said there are 6 things in Shakeology. Number 1, protein and amino acids. And then I read whey, pea, chia, quinoa, flax, sachi, and chia. The vegan protein blend also includes pea, rice, and oat protein. And then I said, protein helps build lean muscle and reduce cravings. That's number 1, protein and amino acids. That's what they are. That's how it benefits you. Number 2, antioxidants and superfoods. Cacao, camu camu, acerola cherry, bilberry, lycium berry, green tea, lohengao, pomegranate, rose hips, vitamin A, C, and E. The benefit of antioxidants and superfoods, these exotic superfoods and vitamins provide antioxidants which will help fight free radical damage and help support your immune system. That's 2 things. Number 3, phytonutrients and supergreens, moringa, chlorella, maca, spinach, and kale. What do phytonutrients do? They help support health and vitality. Number 4, adaptogen herbs, ashwagandha, astragalus, chaga, cordyceps, maca, miyatake, reishi, and shishandra. And those guys knew where those mushrooms and stuff were from because they knew some of the 2 doctors knew more about, cordyceps than I did. Adaptogens have been traditionally used to help the body adapt and respond to the effects of stress. So that's number 4. Number 5, pre and probiotics. Yuccan root, chicory root, lactobacillus sporogenous. Prebiotics and fiber help support regularity and healthy digestion. And then finally, digestive enzymes, amylase, cellulase, lactase, glucoamylase, alpha-galactosidase, and invertase. Enzymes help nutrient absorption and healthy digestion. So I just read those. I think that's important to do, or to play a video. If you had media available, I didn't. Or if you had a slideshow available and could read from a slideshow or PowerPoint, if that's your thing, I didn't. So I just stood there and picked this up off the table. Number 9, brag about the clinical trials. There were 2 clinical trials. One of them says that Shakeology has been proven, and clinical trials means third-party, non-biased. Shakeology has been proven to help people lose weight, help lower bad cholesterol, and help lower blood sugar levels, HbA1c, which Melanie probably can attest to as a diabetic. The other study that was a clinical trial that we learned about at Summit last year was that, and I just think this is amazing, that Shakeology consumers compared to equal calorie placebo consumers. So they didn't know what they were drinking. They didn't know if they were drinking the Shakeology every day or drinking placebo every day. Equal calorie. Shakeology consumers in that study consumed 160 fewer calories in their subsequent meal than placebo consumers. 160 calories a day fewer in the subsequent meal because they were sated. Why? Because good nutrition sates. It's good nutrition. So then I said to the staff, that's you're not going to remember probably all this stuff. And Beachbody has this buzz sloganish thing that they say all the time, almost like a mantra. They say it's our daily dose of dense nutrition. So I'm like, if that's all you can remember to say it's a daily dose of dense nutrition. And then it's gone through clinical trials. Okay. Then after we've talked about clinical trials and read the benefits and all that stuff, then we talk about price. Then I talk to them about the price. And you guys have heard me do that enough to probably know that I like to compare it to things like Apple, and that it is a high quality product, that is a great value, and that people tend to object to the price. because it is more expensive than some products. Oh, in preparation for this call, I listened to some Shay Stanford YouTubes. Shay is like the Beachbody expert on Shakeology. One of the things she said I borrowed and used at this presentation, she said, there's no bad fitness, but there's definitely bad nutrition out there. And there are a ton of health shakes that are full of artificial flavors, artificial sweeteners, and fillers and crap. So that's why Shakeology costs $130 a month, because it's not like that. Number 11, discuss the palatability of Shakeology. So I want them to know that it doesn't necessarily, because it is all natural and gluten-free and low sugar and not artificially sweetened, it might not be the yummiest tasting shake they've ever had in their life when mixed with water and shaken. So I want them to know that, and know that the flavor can be modified with half a banana, peanut butter, whatever, a fruit, whatever they would like to make it palatable, but that most people find that they play around with the making of Shakeology before they fall in love with the taste. And then number 12 of 13 is I show them the product. So I just brought a little bag with me, just this size. That's it. That's all I brought with me to this meeting. And inside it, I had some of the performance line. I didn't bring anything that had been opened because I didn't think that would look very professional. So I had like an Energize and a Recharge and a Recovery that hadn't been opened, and a Daily Sunshine and Shakeology packets. So I brought all that out and put it on the table, and I let them look, and then I let them take a packet of Shakeology. There were 8 of them. So that was well worth it to me to give out the 8 packets of Shakeology. And then finally, if you had any media, I already mentioned this, or slides, I didn't. It wasn't that kind of a setup, but I can imagine, like, had they had a projector, I would have used it, and I would have played our team's video about Shakeology, or there's so many other corporate videos that would be great too. So we are running out of time. So let me just review, recap, and close, or take any questions you might have. What to bring with you? I would bring like brochures. I also had a trifold. I had 3. I don't know where they came from and why I didn't have more, but I had 3 trifold brochures. I brought them and they wanted them, so they took them. I should have laminated one of them, and I should have had enough for everybody, but I would bring brochures, and this comes in the bottom of your box of Shakeology, and it was basically what I used. And then I would bring samples, unopened product, and then depending on what you're doing, if you're doing a demonstration with BOD, of course you're going to want to bring an iPad or a laptop or something to show BOD. And the Fixate cookbook and containers are a great demonstration as well. So that's what to bring. Let me review really quickly. Number 1, be super confident. You're there for a reason. They had you. They're asking you to come for a reason, and your confidence will speak volumes. The first thing you want to do, so number 2, is thank them, of course. It's also the last thing you want to do. The third thing you want to do is give them a summary of what you're going to cover and how you're going to spend their precious time. Number 4, disclaim that you're not a registered dietitian. I just think that makes good sense. Number 5, give them a brief history of the company, and where we came from and why we are what we are and who we are, in terms of our promises, that it's not about get fit quick, and it's about quality. Give your own personal story. Your own personal story isn't wrong. This is where you just get to share from your passion, maybe relate to them and why they're having you, and what you mutually care about in common. Speak to the benefits that you already know. Like, for me, it helps me maintain a healthy weight. For one of my best friends, it helps her with bloating. For my mother-in-law, it helps her go to the bathroom regularly. Like, you guys, some of you, I know it helps you not need a nap in the middle of the day because you can sustain better energy levels. Mel is going to talk about her blood sugar levels and her diabetes. So you guys each have your own story. Share from your own personal story. That's not wrong. It is right. And then as many benefits you know about Shakeology as just a layperson. Then read the actual benefits, not as a layperson, but as the company and what we've put forth in literature. Then talk about our clinical trials. Then talk about price. I think it's important to wait to talk about price then, like after they're kind of sold on your passion, your belief, how it's helped you, what's really in it. And then talk about the palatability and how you might mix it. Maybe you want to bring some recipe ideas. That would have been a good idea. I just didn't think of it. Show the product. So have some on to display and pass around so they can tangibly touch, look and feel, maybe even sample there. Like maybe you could even mix some for the meeting. And that's it. Have media ready if you're a media person. So it is 7 o'clock. That was half an hour. And that's all I've got. Let me look at the chat. Yes.
Hey, Ellen.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. And I missed my turn, so this is fun. I wanted to point out two things. One is that really big companies like, say, Lockheed Martin that have really nice insurance plans like Aetna and Blue Cross Blue Shield, they all get incentives for having healthy workers. Like they literally get money back in their pocket. And some companies will pass that on to their employees a little bit. So there might be something there to piggyback. And then I also just wanted to reframe one of your points. Everybody is an expert with your experience with and what you know with Shakeology. So when you and Beachbody on demand, like your story makes you an expert in that. You don't necessarily have to understand the science behind it. So let that drive your confidence.
I love that so much. Thank you. Those are both two awesome points. So how would you, okay, knowing the first thing that you said about how they receive incentives or benefits, how would you broach that with a company if you were maybe like cold calling to see? I don't think we would need a cold call. I think we all know people who own business or manage people within a business. But so let's say it's an acquaintance of ours or a contact and we're reaching out. Do you think we should start the conversation there with happy?
I would ask if what kind of fitness thing they have on site and how successful it is for them, and whether or not their company is